Hello, 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 and welcome to the Get Life Podcast Kunai. I said the whole name this time. Oh yeah. This episode is... I forgot what episode it is. Kevin, say what episode it is.
Why are you guys looking at me? Hang on. Let me
I'm looking at you. We can't see each other.
1, 2, 3,
Bish,
4,
Bish, we discussed
5,
this off the air.
6, 7, 8. The
No,
eighth
I'm not
episode
asking.
that
No,
we were
I'm
in.
not asking which
this is the
episode it
ninth.
is. I'm asking
This
what
is
the
the
name.
ninth.
I'm not asking what the...
Oh.
Wait. I'm not asking what number of the episode. I'm asking what the title of what anime we're going to watch. Because this might not even be the ninth episode.
In case it's The Devil is a Part-Timer. Or,
Jeez.
for Japanese people out there, Hataraku魔王様.
I don't think anyone in Japan is listening to this. Honestly.
Okay, but
Japan, please notice us. Please.
Japan
but can I say the
senpai.
disclaimer, please? But can I say the disclaimer, please?
Okay, go on. Give it to us.
Oh
Give us
shit!
the-
I don't have it open.
Oh wow, professional.
Whoa, such big words.
I know.
I don't.
I'll do
This is
disclaimer.
the magic of the Get Alive podcast, where the hosts aren't even prepared.
That's fine.
Oh,
my
speak
God.
for yourself. Speak for yourself, Tyson.
what?
No, but seriously, the disclaimer is I'm just gonna get one right off the bat. Like, okay, we're an anime podcast. We talk about anime. Expect heavy spoilers. And we got lives to attend to. That's pretty much what Tyson says all the time.
Wait! I got it. Let's
He's
see.
very proud of that joke.
Yeah, it's like the best joke ever. Leave him alone.
Okay, I got it. For you new folks, Get Alive Podcast Kunai is an anime discussion podcast under the Get Alive group, which includes the original Get Alive podcast, Galp Germany and Galp France. We run on a monthly schedule with a new episode of Kunai at the end of the month. Because this is an anime discussion podcast, expect heavy spoilers. Also, we aren't covering the manga in any extent for those shows that are based off one. We can be found on Stitcher and the iTunes Store. If you'd like to recommend a show for us to watch and make an episode of Kunai off, send us your suggestion on Twitter at Get Alive Podcast using the hashtag GALPKunai. We only ask that you suggest shows that have at most 30 episodes. You got a life to attend to. Get it? Okay.
Okay, so as Kevin said, we're going to watch. We've already watched Mao Sama. We're going to discuss it, but before we do that, last episode we talked about K-On! And it was freaking awesome. And the episode before that was the Christmas episode, which was crazy. And
Can I just say something about K-On!? This is one of those episodes that I didn't like my performance on it. It was like Tempest for me, because I should have been able to explain in much further detail why Mio is best girl, and I didn't do that.
But you couldn't,
like
and that's understandable, because you know in your heart and in your mind that Mio-chan is the best girl. But the thing is, I'm actually going to meet Mio-chan. Oh my god, yeah! And Azusa.
my god, I hate you!
And
I hate you!
Only the English voices, though. But they're still great. I love their English voices. I'm going to have a chance to meet Asusa and Mio-chan. Yeah!
Tyson, preparation for nuke launch. Target, Bish's house. I'll speak now. So, basically, for those of you who don't know, The Devil is a Part-Timer is basically a romantic comedy. And the basic overline of the story is that the devil, who's the main character, Mao-sama, is banished from hell and is chased away by the hero Amelia. And basically, he ends up in modern-day Japan with no powers whatsoever and has to work at a fast food restaurant to get by. And that's basically the setting.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm just gonna go straight off the bat and say my what I liked about it. You know, my first impressions. Initially, when I was watching it, I was kind of skeptical, because I'm like, Devil's a part-timer. I thought it was going to be something that is just like, you know, that really weird fantasy animes where it's just like, I'm in this fantasy world and there's this awesome castle and there's demons and there's angels fighting.
You mean,
and
the typical shonen anime?
I wouldn't say shonen, but I would say like just stupidly fantasy stuff. Like, it's not based in real life. There's nothing to ground it. There's nothing to relate to in those animes for me. So I thought it was going to be like that, and I saw the first scene, like the first couple of scenes, and I was just like, oh my god, it's going to be like this? I'm not going to watch it, because it's like, you had this whole battle between humans and devils, which to begin with is just like, for me, it's just like, yeah, okay, that's just stupid.
It did seem cliche.
It seemed like super cliche. It was like, it's kind of like the whole Attack on Titan thing.
That was the point, though.
No, do you know how like those people like, they're like, this church was involved with a battle with the demons. It kind of reminded me of Attack on Titan, where they had the Church of the Walls, and how ridiculously stupid that was. I felt like that. I was just like, this is dumb. But when they actually went into that weird vortex thing, and they actually got into our dimension, that was badass. I was like, so how are they gonna kind of, get from, like, learn about our world and get by? And it was really, really encouraging to see it. Another thing I liked about it, well, straight off the bat, was the fact that, he looks normal. Like, he looked really creepy. Like, Mao Sama looked really creepy in wherever he was in that other... Is it Eroshi? Was it Eroshi? What's it called? The place.
Ente Isla.
The magical place, it's called that.
Yeah.
I think it was the underworld.
Ente Isla.
Yeah, whatever it was. The other place.
It's unimportant.
Yeah, it's pretty much, because you really don't get much in
Most of the time is spent in the human world.
Yeah. Another thing I didn't like... Well, I'm going to say what I didn't like from now, is the fact that they were speaking their weird language. Do you see what I mean? The whole time.
Mm-hmm.
But there's points, they're speaking their weird language, and then when they're speaking to each other, they speak in Japanese, and I'm like, what's going on? Do you know what I mean? So it's really odd.
Yeah.
There's moments in this anime where you would think, okay, they're speaking Japanese right off the bat, even though they just came to this world, which makes no
Oh my god, I
sense.
noticed that as well.
And it's like, okay, I would take it seriously if they had it there, that their own kind of language for like the first couple of episodes, and then after a while they actually learn Japanese. That would make sense to me. At least have Japanese subtitles. It would be more believable for obviously people who are watching it in Japan. But
yeah,
for me, it was just like, it was kind of dumb. Like, it's a nice language. It reminded me of like speaking English and then you just reverse it backwards. It was probably they were speaking Japanese and they just reversed it or something. I'm not quite sure how they got to it. I doubt that they actually created a new language.
I did run across a behind the scenes video that is basically the creative director for the dub of The Devil is a Part-Timer, explaining how did she create the language that the Devil and Alciel talk between each other, and they were, and it's mostly just the same. It's mostly the same technique that you described. It's basically just taking English words and reverse some of the letters so they hear foreign. It was actually kind of interesting. I never finished watching it, but it was kind of interesting how the creative process of a product goes behind the scenes. Also, it helps that, at least from what she said, is that Josh Grell, which is the voice of Mao Sama on the dub, he had I think it was an Eastern European accent, and when he said that makeup language in Grell's voice, it actually sounded like a different language. So it was a combination of both creativity and just a good selection of actors to make it to sell the idea that the language was different. In regards to first impressions, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to take the microphone off you for a moment. First impressions, Hataraku Maou Sama. It actually threw me a curveball, because when I first watched it, it was like, the Devil is a part-timer. How does this work? So what does he do on Hell that's different from just being top dog over there? And when I see this battle, and then he goes into modern Japan, I'm like, it's kind of like cementing the idea of, that was like foreshadowing, and by the end, it kind of, for me, nailed down home. This is a comedy anime, and I'm gonna treat it as such. So I'm personally gonna have to contest Kevin's description of it being a romantic comedy. I'm just gonna say straight out comedy. because this is what it is. It felt like watching
I
a
disagree
sitcom
with you.
because
I think like the romance. I mean, it's not as big as some other things like perhaps Haganai, but like it's still there's a harem there. And, like,
there is there, yeah, exactly.
They make it evident. You know?
If there was a second season, I think it would progress in the second season. If there was a second season.
I don't know. I don't know if what is it? Because Emi is so tsundere and Shiho is like the romantic interest, although Mao doesn't see it that way. She's like, oh my god, Mao-san. But I
love your impressions, Tyson. I could just imagine you going to Japan and just voicing every little girl in anime. That would be
in the future, like,
imagine
he's going to become a voice actor.
In Japan, yeah, he voices Nanako's voice. Like that would be hilarious.
He has like the perfect kawaii voice.
Ori-chan! Just sounds like really bad.
Wait! I don't recall voicing Nanako in the Persona 4
I think
episode.
You do. I think
I don't
you do.
recall doing that.
I can imagine Tyson going to Japan and doing like those really bad like in anime you kind of get those like foreign exchange students that come from like France or from another European country and they speak Japanese. Like for instance, Chloe Lemaire from Girlfriend Beta. Chloe Lemaire this or like they don't speak. Oh, watashi no! You know they sound really bad in Japanese, and you can tell the Japanese voice actors having the best time ever. Like if it was me, I would go all out. Like I would put on a Cockney accent.
I mean, that would be kind of mean, though.
You guys are a
let's try not to
riot.
be mean, alright?
You guys are a riot.
Alright?
Yeah, but
being a Canadian, I tend to be respectful to people who can't speak English.
No, it's not that.
It's perfect accent, you know?
No. It's the other way around. Is they're making fun of people. They're making fun of people that in Japan. Those animes are making fun of people who can't even speak Japanese. It's kind of like here, when in sitcoms and in television shows, we see people they can't speak English well enough, and then they make fun of it. Japan are doing the exact same thing.
That's horrible. It's
hilarious.
So who would do that? What?
It's hilarious. Do you know why? Because I can relate to it. Because I've had.
Okay. What you should get out of the conversation is that Emi is a tsundere. That's it.
And she is best girl, but we'll get into that later, folks. I dropped the bomb. I just dropped the news.
Not so fast. So fast.
She's not best girl. Wait, I'll tell you who's best girl from now.
Oh my god. Alright, no.
I will tell you.
I think as a person who addresses this episode, we should leave that for later, alright?
Okay.
We'll spare the audience's ears for now.
No. I want to get on to who's best girl from now.
No. It goes against the rundown of Girl Life Podcast tonight.
Okay. We're going to talk about who's best girl.
Tyson, the main point of this podcast is we don't have a formal setup.
Exactly.
Wait. What the hell?
So who do you think is best girl, Kevin?
Alright, let's just get this out of the way and settle this once and for all, alright? This can't stand.
We'll have to be very civilized about it. So, Kevin, you go first, then me, and then Tyson.
We're anything but civilized.
No, this is like this has to be civilized. So, actually, Bish, present your case.
Present my case as to who is best girl. Do you know who I really like as best girl? And I know you might not like it, but it's that I forgot her name. It's the girl with the black hair that always wears the kimono.
Oh god!
Oh my god, Bish!
Yeah.
High five!
Yes.
What? That's my best girl. That's my best girl as
Tyson?
well. Yes.
No, wait, and let me explain why she's best girl.
No,
okay.
She's best girl.
Okay.
This is kind of weird. I have an obsession with people wearing kimonos. It's really nice.
Okay.
You don't see that nowadays. That's first of all. That's the kimono thing. She has black hair. Awesome. She looks really cute. Other than all the other characters, like the co-worker at McDonald's, she's like weirdly proportioned, and it's like
I don't like her. I don't like her.
It's like they use her as a joke in that case, and I don't like that. I don't like it when they use big breasts as jokes in anime. It's not right. And then the other girl, I forgot her name, the purple hair girl.
Crestia Bell is the name of the kimono girl. Is that the one that you were looking for?
No, I was looking for the girl with the purple hair or the pink hair or something. The
pink
angel, the half angel girl.
Any?
Yes. The reason I don't like her is because she's like as you said, she's tsundere, and I don't think there's something that's going on with your trends in Best Girl. I've realized this, Kevin. You always go after the tsundere. I've realized that because I bet I tell you from now. Okay, Muki-chan is an exception, but I tell you from now that if I said, okay, Sena-chan, she's Best Girl, right, for you. Is that correct?
She's not tsundere. You're the one who likes.
Yes, she is. Jesus, man, she's so tsundere. You know why?
Okay.
Because she's a bitch. Come on, and it's so nice. And that's just like.
All right, leaving call in 3, 2.
No. Let me be serious. Like, just like Emi. Like, Emi's the same. Emi kind of reminds me of Sena-chan, and I hate. No offense, I really dislike Sena because she's just like she's so stuck up. Kind of like Emi as well. She's like I'm always comment. No. She's
your
always
remark is so ironic because guess who his best girl is, guys? It's fucking Yozora. Have you seen anyone out tsundere Yozora?
Yozora is the baddest bitch in the world. Okay, just come on.
Oh my god,
she's best girl so many times, and I'll explain why Yozora is best girl when we talk about Haganai sometime in the future. But
soon.
Very soon.
Oh my god.
But until then, I think the girl with the kimono is best girl. She really doesn't have a personality at all. And she's kind of two-faced.
Yeah.
I don't like that, but
it's so shallow.
Her design,
that's so
it is very shallow. But her design...
You need to look for depth?
No. I don't need to look for depth.
Girl.
I don't need to look for depth. She looks very elegant. She looks really nice.
Your best girl is a kimono. It's not a character. I mean,
it is. Best kimono. No other character in this anime dresses like her. No other character in this anime looks as elegant. And I find that, the other girl...
But she's so flat.
She's
flatter than Emi's chest. That's how flat her character is.
That's fine.
You base your best girl selection on how voluptuous a person is? What the hell is wrong with you, Kevin?
Exactly,
no. I'm just making a reference here.
No, I understand.
Suzuno's character is flatter than Emi's chest.
I understand that. You're saying in terms of her personality, and that's true. She really doesn't have a personality. But for me, it's not about the personality. I think it's about her character design, and she's really well,
Okay, on that, I can agree.
And I feel that it's kind of odd to see someone in Japan nowadays wearing a kimono, wearing the whole outfit, and every outfit she has, even her swimsuit is traditional.
Hang on, it's a kimono, yeah.
Traditional
For those
Japanese.
who don't understand why we're talking about kimonos, is that this character doesn't just wear a kimono occasionally; she literally wears it 24/7, all the time.
The reason she wears a kimono 24/7 is because she researched Japan before coming to Japan, but all the books that they had was about feudal Japan. Exactly. Feudal Japan. Exactly. So it's like, that's all she had to go from. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not... I can understand why that is. If you gave her a book about... Or if you made her watch like an anime or something, then fair enough. She would have like dressed normal, I would say, but it's interesting because if she was just a normal character that was just dressed normally, I wouldn't care. I honestly wouldn't care. She would just been another character that I really wouldn't care about. Just like the other character that calls Emi-chan from the other dimension.
Emerada.
I don't care about her. Like, honestly, you see her twice in the anime, and I'm like, I don't care about you, and I don't care about your friend either.
Not to be honest, the only part about Emerada that made me laugh was when she was calling Emi, I think it was episode 8 or something, that it was something of an emergency, and then she said, I think I gained weight. And I'm like, oh my god, you're calling for that? It was frustrating and funny at the same time.
I can see what you mean. Because she's irrelevant. Honestly,
no, it's irrelevant. That's total girl talk because,
to be honest, I think a lot of the characters on the show could be just completely removed and nothing would change.
Yeah, I honestly think so, and that's one gripe I have. There's certain characters are really well developed, and then others are just like, meh. They just can dispose of them at will. Anyway, going on to your best girl discussion.
My best girl?
Yeah, your best girl. And let's be civilized here. I want you to say why, and I probably won't listen to it, but fair enough. Go on.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope the audience is listening, unlike Bish, but
don't care.
The court of Galkunai is in session.
All right, so, Your Honor, I believe that Emi Yusa is best girl and not
Objection!
Suzuno.
No, but seriously,
You're
continue.
not the judge. Tyson is the judge right now. I don't know.
Proceed.
She's not like the best character I've seen, but in the show, I think that she is the best girl. Because I mean, Chiho is just. There's too many jokes about her.
Yeah, I agree.
She just feels really annoying. She's that one character that's so annoying. Like, I don't know whether it's just how much she's mentioned or just how, like, senpai all the time she is.
She's Rosette,
excuse me, Plantif. Do you know who Shiho reminds me of? Rise.
That's why I was saying, yeah, she's Rise.
Yeah.
Basically.
But don't say that. Don't say that
Rise's
to Kevin.
appearance.
He's going to be really upset.
Well, I don't care, because I agree. But the thing is, Rise looked nice. Alright? I just don't like Chiho. It just doesn't look good. I know that's shallow,
cool.
but
okay, I understand.
Suzuno, I think she has a pretty nice design, but like her character is so flat. I mean, this is the first. She makes Misaka look like amazing in terms of personality. She has Mikasa would have like the biggest emotional range ever compared to Suzuno.
Okay,
She's
that's
just so
true.
Flat
That is completely true. But that's.
I mean,
that's
she's
the
just
reason
not an
I like her.
character.
She's not interesting, but her clothing is, and I feel that
her clothing
it's
is,
a
but I
nice
mean-
nod to old school Japan, and I like that
Yeah,
because
it's a nice nod, but I mean, I wish that they could have developed the character more instead of just using it as, oh, hey, you should like this character because of the clothes she's wearing. I mean, yes, it's a comedy show, so of course you're not looking for the best character development or best plot, but I mean, that's not an excuse to create such a boring character, right? I think Emi's just being one of the main characters, right? Aside Mao.
Yeah, she's basically a main
think
character because most of the tension of the show revolves around her interactions with Mao, and that would basically, at least in my book, graduate her to main character.
Yeah.
I love
just think
alongside
that
Mao.
She has like a backstory, and you get to learn a lot more about her than compared to the other characters. That's basically it. She looks pretty nice too. But can we just move on to characters now? I'd like to continue about that.
okay.
Like I said, unfortunately there's just two poles in this anime. So the characters could be very well developed and just absolutely hilarious, or they'd just be completely irrelevant and useless.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I'm the one who suggested this anime, but I like to play the devil's advocate. Like Mao, even though he's a main character, usually in harem animes, anime, the main character is usually like really useless. You hate him, but I mean, Mao was just great. I think he was hilarious. He's kind of overpowered, though. I mean, if you look at the battles, he's the only one who actually does.
But that's the
anything, in my
thing.
opinion.
He is the devil himself, so of course he's
but
going to be very powerful.
Even Emi, the hero, like the one who supposedly defeated him, in the last battle, she literally does nothing. She just gets captured.
But she's not. Wait. She's not the main character, though.
I know, but the thing is, at least let the
Wait. No, wait. It's called Mao-sama, not Emi-chan. Let's be honest.
But the thing is, hear me out. The thing is, I don't mind if he plays a big part. It's just that, like, he just
you want to see more fighting from other characters. I can understand that.
Yeah, because, like, I mean, Alciel and all that, like, they occasionally participate, but they're completely irrelevant. I mean, Mao just single-handedly defeats all the villains in the show, right? So it's to make the battles interesting.
It's true.
Of course, it's not a battle anime, but still, if you're going to have them battle, at least make it worthwhile.
No, you know? and that's something I noticed because there were only two major battles on the whole show. Basically, Mao versus Lucifer and Mao versus Ariel. That's basically it.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, but and there's a comment to be made on that, but I'm gonna save it for later. Just to keep on the topic of characters. Just let me let Kevin finish thing.
Okay, so one thing I was wondering was who are your favorite characters? Because personally, I don't know, I can't say I can relate to a lot of characters in this anime, but I would say my favorite one, I don't want to say this, even though I said that she wasn't best girl at all. I really like Emi-chan as a character, because she's, like I said, really well developed. You can kind of relate to her at times. I don't know, mainly because she was taken from her family and she had to kind of, you know what I mean? Because her father died, and then she has to take all of this responsibility. And sometimes in life, we feel like that. We feel alone. We feel that we have to take on this responsibility, and we have to kind of save the world, even if it's our own personal world. You see what I mean? and she's really relatable, and I don't know, I like that, and I would say she's my favorite character. What do you think, guys?
The thing is that Emi directly blames Mao for the death of her father. But when he, I think it was the south part where Emi was grown up before she was taken by the church to develop her skills as a hero or something, and then and that leaves something to be said when Emi blames Mao for her father's death, even though it wasn't him directly that did it. It was
I believe it was Lucifer. It was Lucifer that got that attack. I think. He was the one that directed it. But at the same time, as you said, I can understand why she blames it. Because that's the only person she can blame. And it's the only person... I'm guessing probably in this anime, the people that trained her kind of made her think, well, this is your target. This is the person that killed your dad. Do you know what I mean? Because anger fuels people to... In most cases, it kind of motivates people to get something done. And in this case, she's fueled by her revenge, fueled by her anger to kill him. And throughout this anime, we see her kind of breaking away from that. You know, she kind of gets acceptance.
I didn't really catch who led the invasion on Emi's.
It was Lucifer. Under orders from Mao.
Okay, so from the half episode forward, where Lucifer was basically on Mao's house, I kind of had to bring that into question. Why keep obsessed over Mao? And basically, you have the killer or your father right there in the same house you visit like every single day or every single episode. There's at least one scene in which Emi is on Mao's house, basically.
Because so you're saying why is that? I think it's because she's probably. I haven't seen the manga. I haven't seen anything because it's still an ongoing thing. But I have a hunch that she likes him.
Yeah,
I have a hunch.
Initially, I don't think she does, but as you said, she's a tsundere. So over time, she sees him more like a human being than a demon.
Because he is a human being. That's the thing. Yeah. He is a human being in this state.
At one point, she's like, "I'm not going to kill you as long as you stay in the human world and you don't hurt him anymore." Right? Mm-hmm. So.
That and that's the thing. Through Mao's actions on the show, I'm gonna jump a little bit on story here, and then gonna go back to characters. Is the more I watched the show, the more I watched Mao's actions, the more convinced I was that he wasn't genuinely a bad guy. So. It was basically like he was born into this family of like, oh wait, we're the bad guys and we should dominate all of the world.
Yeah.
And but I'm still not convinced myself that he wanted Ente Isla for himself, but he's been relatively well behaved in Japan, and when he has the opportunity to do when he gets his powers back, and everyone's expecting him to do bad things, he actually do good ones.
Good. Yeah.
So I'm not completely sold on the fact that Mao's a bad guy, and I think Emi also thinks the same. That's why he has spared his life.
What I would say about that is that yes, but and no at the same time, because I disagree with the whole thing where he said it's a family and he was kind of raised in place where he has to be the bad guy. I feel that he is the bad guy. At least in the other dimension, and when he's actually on Earth, I feel that's a different thing. I feel he's probably doing this to kind of, what's it called? As odd as this may sound, like repent for the bad things that he's done. Because there's this one scene that kind of struck me when Emi is kind of describing what happened on that day and how her dad died and whatnot, and then he's realized like, oh shit, I killed like loads of people without even realizing it. Do you know what I mean? And because he's had that human interaction, he's with Chiho, with other characters as well. He's had that interaction, and he's always trying to do his best. And I find that's probably because he's seeking like forgiveness, possibly. He's trying to do right in this world for all the bad things he's done in the other world.
Okay. Let me throw you a curveball then, because this also relates to a note that I got him as to why they learn Japanese so fast. I recall that Mao put a spell on the police guard that arrested him, and I was wondering, how did they learn Japanese so fast? So I was thinking that when Mao put one of the police guards under hypnosis, I think it was, basically he learned all that there is to learn about Japan.
Okay,
culture,
wait, just wait.
I call bullshit though, because
Same
what about
as well.
Emi and all the other characters? I mean, I think like Bish mentioned at the beginning, it's probably just
another reason why I call bullshit is because when he's actually getting his IDs and his bank account, he speaks Japanese, but it's really bad Japanese. It's not amazing Japanese at the beginning.
That's true. They start off speaking really bad Japanese.
So, continue, Kevin. Sorry about that. I just needed to say that.
No, it's all good. It's like I said. I'll continue on what Bish said. I think it's just, I mean, for whether you're Japanese, whether you're an Anglophone, it doesn't really matter. I think that everyone would feel really awkward if all the characters were talking in like an invented language for 3 episodes straight. So I think that they just threw realism out the window, because it's a comedy anime. They just wanted to get straight to the Japanese right away, so they don't alienate the audience,
But another thing I don't like is that when other characters come from the other dimension, they speak that language, and as soon as they come into the other dimension, they're like, "Oh yeah, we speak that language for like 2 sentences," and then the rest is Japanese. I'm like, "What? No, this is stupid."
I think it's more like I mean, if you think about it, it's just that. Just imagine how much work would have to be put in to invent a whole other language, because
that's
imagine the workload for the scriptwriter, right? You can't just invent a whole vocabulary for the actors to use, and that'd be tricky for the voice actors too, right? It's not their job to learn a whole different language.
No, but
it's just for simplicity's sake, I think.
No, that's the job of the creative director, and I believe judging from this video that I watched, they actually did invent the whole foreign language that they spoke in Ente Isla. And when Bish mentioned the whole but they speak this foreign language and then they speak Japanese all the time, and I thought of the calls that Emerada and Emi have all the time. So basically, when she comes to this world with Albert, they are speaking that weird language, and then when they come back and they call themselves over the phone, she's speaking Japanese. And like it was truly a missed chance for the scriptwriter that invented this whole language to use it, because Emi can speak that language. So why?
But another thing, it brings on another point. We don't know if that's the actual Japanese voice actors that are providing the voice dub for that made-up language, because it does not sound like it at all, to be honest.
I
haven't researched that, so
I'm guessing it's just another thing. And in production, if you're having to get other people, like another voice actor, that's more money. Like, you have to pay more people to do that, and probably they've just done it for constraints. It takes more time.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think
just budgetary reasons.
I don't think that they recruited different actors to speak this made-up language, and I'm going to tell you why. Because, and this is judging from other behind the booth videos that I've seen. The scriptwriter and the creative director are usually in the room where the BA is recording, and they are usually say the BA delivered the line, and then the creative director says, "Hey, can you give more? Can you be more high pitch, or can you be more lower pitch, or something?" I think that's what these actors had to do with. Like the creative director, they sat down with the voice actors that are going to speak these lines from this made up language, and basically they say, so you're going to pronounce this way and that way. I'm sure there's a different concept, at least in Japanese, but I don't think it's true to say that there were different voice actors. I mean, it could have made the recording process for both Japanese and English more time-consuming, but judging and I don't know if Japan's voice actors are unionized. So basically they had to pay them. They had to give them a minimum of work so they can charge the rate. So basically there's that. I do imagine that it was tedious, but I don't think that.
I disagree, Tyson. I honestly do, because I'm listening to the Japanese dub, as always, but this sounds let's be honest here. When Japanese people try and speak English in anime, they sound kind of, I don't know. They don't sound English, but this sounds as if it was like an Anglo kind of like a European language. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like this sounded like some sort of maybe German or like something like that. It kind of reminded me of those languages, something that's Latin based. So they don't have some sort of Japanese underlying accent. It seems that they probably got someone English to do it.
They could always have a voice coach, though.
It could probably be the case. Yeah.
But I think it might have been, someone else that did it. Maybe if it's one person that provides all the... Well, that's really unlikely. But still, I still think that it's not the original Japanese voice actors that provided the overworld language thing. I don't think it was that. I think it was someone from Europe or someone from America or something like that. Because it sounds like I said, English, but broken and like twisted.
Would be very costly, though. I mean...
I don't know. I don't think so.
Has the budget for that.
No, I don't think so because other anime has that. K-On! Has that. Free has that. Well, obviously that's a different animation studio, but they still invest the time into doing that, and I feel that they probably
no. At least, I just want to say this. I think on Free's case that they were actually looking for people. Voice actors rather that were familiar with the English language, and you see this in season 2 where Rimatsuoka's voice actor, he actually can. He speaks in English with accent, but it's a pretty good English, and I think that was one of the requirements, being that. Okay, so there's this character that studied abroad. He's studying in Australia. Basically, he speaks English, and I think that was one of the requirements why they chose that particular voice actor. But you guys will see this when we get to Free Season 2 in due time. I just wanna backtrack a little bit because we were like on a steamroll of stuff. I still haven't talked about the characters. Now I feel like having.
Should I start or do you want to start?
You already did. You and Bish did it.
I just wanted to ask a question though.
No. It's basically the impression on the characters. Okay, so about Mao, I basically said that I'm still not that convinced that he's totally a bad guy, and there was something said in the later episodes about him being born to a family of demons, and demons had this expectation to be bad, and he was just basically complying to these expectations, and maybe I'm looking way too deep into this, but there's a scene in the first episode in which he just looks. He sat on his throne with his fist clenched across his head, kind of like bored. And when I saw this, I thought back to that scene, and I was like, is the devil kind of like fed up with being a demon or something? That goes with the whole trying to reinvent himself over like the devil. His powers don't have any use in modern day Japan, and I also had to question why McDonald's. Is that like popular in Japan as well?
It's very popular. The thing is, fast food chains
it's a huge meme too.
are very popular in Japan. But obviously that's because they have some kind of sort of is very different. Like McDonald's over there is completely different to every other country. It's not the same. They have like black burgers, like squid ink burgers.
That's a Burger King.
And Japan and Japan fail. And McDonald's have it as well. I'm not shitting you. But they're really expensive. It's like it's like $10. Oh, not $10. £10 for like this black burger, and it's just like okay. But anyway, I think mainly they did that because it's people they can relate to it. Like fast food chains are really popular over there, especially KFC. Like as soon as that KFC came in the anime,
that was awesome.
It's like that because KFC is so popular. People in Japan go to KFC on Christmas Day, and they pre-order. They actually go to KFC to pre-order their chicken, a roast chicken. I'm not even taking the piss. I'm being serious. On Christmas Day, that only originated because in the 70s they had this this advertising campaign that was KFC is for Christmas in Japan, and since then people kind of continued with that, and it's very popular over there, and it's nice because they're showing more than just the anime, and it's just like rivalry between two companies. Like, oh my god.
No, at first I thought that they were trying to send a message, like a hidden message, like, okay, so again, I may be looking too deep into this, but I mean the rivalry between McDonald's and KFC, like the equivalents in the anime and the show itself, are do lend itself for the sitcom hilarious moments, but I thought that the selection was way too specific, and I thought he was trying to deliver a message, but who knows?
I don't think so, because if you change the names completely, no one would get it. Like, every anime I've seen so far that has comedy or any sort of thing always has some sort of reference to McDonald's, whether the M is an E or it's a W upside down. Do you know what I mean? Even Toradora has references to that.
It's just like a tongue-in-cheek joke.
Exactly.
Fast food restaurants, you know?
People can relate to it. You know, it's like...
Yeah, exactly. They want to create like a familiar environment, you know?
I suppose that to be the case, but I'm dwelling on Mao too much. Alciel, how to feel about him, because I think aside from being a punching bag for jokes, especially in the latter parts where basically he ate all this udon and he's basically just like crapping all over the bathroom and whatnot. Yeah, I think it was a tired joke, and especially when Lucifer moves in, and I just mean Alciel, you're a good for nothing. I mean, really, he can be taken out of the anime, he can be taken out of the show, and nothing will happen.
It's the same with Lucifer as well. That's the thing.
But I'm a fan of Lucifer, but I'm gonna get to that later. I just want to hold on. Yeah, you can. Yeah, Bish can cut this. Okay, so I want to focus on the two girls now. So Emi and Shiho, I still don't quite get the relevance of Shiho in the story.
I'll explain why. Shiho is very important to the story, mainly because her dad was the police officer that she met. Yeah, and it's explained. At first, I was like, "What the fuck's going on?" But he has interaction with his daughter. He meets his daughter. Shares dinner. But the policeman was affected by, Satan and his magic. Mm-hmm. So that obviously had an effect on her, and that's how they had that. What was it called? That weird earthquake thing always happened in her house because they're trying to get through to her because she had some sort of minute interaction with him. I think that was because Albert. I think so, and another thing is you always have to keep on thinking about him. You have to think about Mao-sama all the time, and she's in love with Mao-sama. So that's why they kind of contacted her.
Overplayed, though.
It is overplayed, but it's needed.
It is overplayed.
It's needed. Without the fact that she loves Mao-sama, there was no way that they could have got that whole earthquake thing, and she has to think about him all the time. It needed to be done.
If I can comment on your remark, though, Tyson, I disagree, honestly, when you say that Alciel is kind of useless. I mean, yes, from a plot point, I mean, he's not really important. The story doesn't need him, but you can say that about most of the characters, to be honest. But I think he has a pretty big comedic value in the show. I mean, a lot of jokes are centered around him, especially at the beginning. So, I mean, he's not the most important character plot-wise, but I think he's quite funny,
I agree with that, but at the same time, I feel that yes, he's kind of like a candle. He's burnt out like halfway through, and it's like that's why they kind of make him like have like diarrhea and sick all the time until the end. It's like because they don't know what to do with that character for the whole time. You see what I mean?
I'm gonna say this, and I didn't want to say this now, but I'm gonna throw it out there. This probably will take the conversation somewhere elsewhere. At least this is how I felt, and it relates to my first impression. When I said by the end of the episode, this is a comedy anime. Okay, so what do I do when with comedy shows. Basically, it's like shutting off your brain. Just laugh at the situations that the main character is saying. But when you try to look for any deep analysis, like what we do Kunai here, at least I don't know about you too, but it doesn't work. But still, we have a responsibility for the format, and that's why we continue this deep analysis, even though it could go nowhere. But there you go.
I think that you can't just say, oh well, the story doesn't have to be good because it's a comedy show. The characters don't have to be deep because, well, it's a comedy show because X, Y, Z. I mean, you can't just use "it's a comedy show" as an excuse for mediocrity or
I agree.
something not being up to par. You just cannot use that as an excuse. Like I said, just because it's a comedy show, that doesn't mean that the plot can't be well developed. Because I bet you there's plenty of comedy shows that succeed in making people laugh while having a strong story.
But allow me to comment on that because. Also, because this was while I was watching the anime as well. The more I watched it, the more I was convinced that the format of the light novel, the manga, did introduce well to anime. I think, like for instance, the light novel and the manga. I believe the manga isn't, but someone can correct me here. Is still ongoing. Probably the jokes were the format works probably for light novel, but not so much for anime. And I was kind of like becoming more and more convinced, because if you want to take this show somewhere, you're gonna have to change the whole format of the anime. Like for instance,
like a second season, basically.
If you're gonna do a second season of the Devil is a Part-Timer, you're gonna have to change the whole concept of it. Maybe even retcon what the light novel has put forward, and maybe go with your own story. I don't know if this gonna be a shonen show.
I agree and disagree with that.
I disagree mainly because first of all, I hate it when anime. Like, yeah, let's just change the light stuff. It's like when it's not canon. It's kind of like Dragon Ball GT. Like, I find that irrelevant because it's non-canon. And it's the same with like other animes that have said, yeah, I'm going to go far away from the manga or from the light novel because that's the original. That's the original text. Let me finish.
Bish, let me ask you a question before you continue. Mm-hmm. Have you watched Full Metal Alchemist?
No.
Okay, so there are two versions of that show, Full Metal Alchemist and Brotherhood. Basically, Brotherhood is the one that's more faithful to the manga, but Alchemist is faithful to a certain point. Then the rest is just stuff that the creative team came up with, like they had the second half of the anime. Knowing that, which one would you watch?
I would watch the more faithful one because that's how I am as a content viewer. I would want to see something. So it's mainly because I don't want to read light novels in most cases or the manga because I find them boring. But the thing is, I don't want them to do that because I have a feeling that it's just going to go to a place where I don't want it to go. Because I see the jokes in the anime are overplayed, and I can imagine if they went their own way with this, it's just going to be ridiculous. It's just going to be so shit that it will just ruin the first season. Kind of like how I feel like that with anime. When a second season is like ruined, it kind of ruins the whole anime for me, the first and second season. Kind of like Oremo. Like Oremo ruined Oremo the second season of Oremo ruined it for me. But that's another situation.
Just a moment, Kevin. Right. But even with that. Sometimes you have to take content at face value. Like for instance, because Full Metal Alchemist, I'm still using this as an example. The second half of the anime wasn't faithful to the manga, to the source. That doesn't mean that it's a bad product.
I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is that look what they did with this and how much they're overplaying jokes. I have a feeling that if they do a second season of Mao-sama, and they go off the manga or they go off the light novels, that they're just going to overplay the jokes and they're just going to make their own jokes and overplay them, and it will just ruin the anime for me. I'm just going to be like, fuck this, I don't want to watch this anymore. I have a feeling that it's just probably going to be like, oh yeah, he left McDonald's and he's going to work at KFC or something ridiculous dumb. It's going to be dumb. That's what I think.
Okay. Kevin, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, well, speaking about this, I mean, I think when we're talking about adaptations, because this is an adaptation, it's not an original
it
anime,
is.
you have to consider that there are many things, as, you know, a director or a scriptwriter for shows have to consider. It's that, like, books and shows are completely different mediums, right? So one's
I agree.
an audiovisual medium, and one's, just a book. I mean, it's the same thing with Persona, for example. That's a very good example. So we had P4G, the animation, and after we had P4G Golden. So one was more faithful to the original game, and one was more compressed for, you know, a more classical TV show style format, right?
The thing was that the golden animation had a certain audience in mind, so I'm willing to let that slide for them. But I'm sorry, continue.
I mean, it's just that I think they're just looking at certain demographics here. I mean, there are things that you can do in books that you can't do in shows, and vice versa. So when you're, especially like jokes and the format of the show, you can't afford to be too descriptive in shows because you're on a time limit. 24 minutes per episode.
Mm-hmm.
You're not getting more than that. No less, no more. It's 24 minutes. You work with that, right? So they really have to find ways to not retcon. I don't think that the writers have to retcon things in the story. It's just that they have to present them in certain ways. So they might cut things out that they found that were
I can understand that.
like,
but if you're giving them full creative like freedom, I don't see that going well. To be honest,
I mean, I don't think that
I don't
they should
like
just
that
be,
at all.
You know, go AWOL and just do whatever they want.
Exactly. I think
no
they
matter what,
should-
you still have to stay faithful to what you're basing it off of, right? It's kind of like a respect you have for the original creator.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you shouldn't go like word for word.
Yeah,
dot for
I'm not
dot,
saying
you know?
I'm not saying you should go word for word, but I'm just saying you shouldn't just knock it down and be like, yeah, let's just change this up so much that because there are
of course.
animes that done that and it's annoyed me
It's
so
bullshit.
much.
Let's
Like
be honest, it's bullshit.
a great anime example of this is another Funimation dub, which is I forgot the name, but I remember the song.
I'm lost.
I forgot.
don't know what
Fruits
it is.
Basket. That's the one. Fruits Basket.
Okay,
So
okay.
in Fruits
Watched it.
Basket, it's a great. The manga's awesome and the anime is awesome. But the thing is, certain characters in Fruits Basket were female in the manga. And the manga is the original, and in the anime they're male. But there's a certain reason that they're female in the manga. I don't want to say who the character is because I really don't want to ruin it. But
Well,
there's
hang on. So, is this a good reason why of retconning, or is it a bad reason?
This is a bad reason because
Okay.
because it ruins the story forward.
it-
and it
I mean,
ruins
like
the
that's a
character
bit too
development.
much.
Yeah,
in my opinion, like changing the
And
genders
there's
of the characters
nothing-
completely. That's
Yeah.
out of proportion.
because
Kevin,
my opinion.
basically, Bish, what he's doing is he's posing his case, like you were doing in the beginning for Best Girl.
No, I was just confused for a second.
But what
Yeah,
I'm saying
I
is
agree
that with something like Fruits Basket, where it's like I believe the character was a guy to begin with in the manga, and then they were hiding the fact that they were a girl, kind of like Naruto in that sense.
Okay.
But then in the anime, they're a guy and they will always remain as a guy. It's kind of like imagine having Persona, the game where Naruto is a girl disguising herself as a guy, and in the anime she's just a guy. That changes the story a lot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It changes
I mean,
character development a lot, and I feel that if you give them like full creative thing like that, I don't want that kind of thing to happen with Mao-sama.
Yeah,
Do you see what I
absolutely.
mean? Like where it's just ridiculously dumb because it got to that point.
Excuse me, guys. Just kind of to wrap up this topic here. Are we all in agreement that basically we think that this show has kind of like poor production quality?
I don't think so. I don't think that was what
I agree with that. I don't think it has
I can't say anything because I didn't read the manga or the light novel, but what I can say is that I don't think that there were any moments that were too awkward where it's like, okay, this is clearly ripped straight out from the book and they didn't do anything to try to adapt it to a TV show, you know? Mm-hmm. I think that overall they did a pretty good job at creating a comedy show. I mean, sure, there's a few bumps along the road, but overall I think that they did a pretty solid job at adapting it.
Bish?
Yeah, I think it's a great like adaptation, to be honest. And yeah, there are times where jokes are reused, but to be honest, in most TV shows that's the case.
Yeah.
AKA Friends. aka
But
Scrubs, aka every sitcom ever.
But
in a sense, that's how it is, and I can't really argue with that. In terms of other stuff, in terms of production, like voice actors are great in this anime. Animation style is lovely. I just don't like the fact that they overplay Chiho's tits. Like that's too much for me. Mainly because
Maybe
it's just like
in Japan, though.
no, it might be a thing in Japan, but I just don't find that funny. I'm just like, okay, she's like 16-year-old and she has big tits.
Yeah,
what else? I don't find it.
That's
funny
what I
because
found
it's just-
weird.
They keep on playing it. Maybe the first time it was funny, but then it's just like, oh no.
Yeah, it carried on all the way until the end. I mean, maybe we're not Japanese, we understand. Maybe like it's a meme or something in Japan. Because I mean, that's what they did with My Santa. That was also a pretty big joke in that those 2 episodes as well. So maybe it's some running gag in Japan, but I don't get it. And,
Possibly,
I mean, it's funny.
but-
I don't mind the joke being like done once or twice, but like if you're going to do it throughout the entire anime,
But
just
it's
gets-
not. It's not done well. It's like it's not
Wait,
done well. Like they make fun of stuff like this in Haganai, but it's done tastefully. I find it in Haganai it's done tastefully as opposed
I mean, it's
to
done in different ways, right? I mean,
Yeah.
this, I think it's just like literally they repeat the same joke,
yeah. It's
like
it's,
over and over. And
it's
Haganai,
true.
it's like
they're
different
creative.
circumstances.
Exactly, they're creative.
It's
in
funny,
Haganai.
so
yeah.
it doesn't. It's the same joke, but it doesn't feel exactly the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
it's
like,
exactly like that.
It's when jokes overstay the welcome.
Exactly.
Yeah, I did feel that way with the show as well. Did we talk about our favorite characters yet? At least you did. I
I've
did.
already
just
spoken
wanted to-
about that.
Add something.
Okay.
So I just wanted to add that personally, I think that one thing that I have to praise this anime for is that just the character development for the main character especially is really good. I mean, you see how Mao and Emi especially, how they change over time, right? So as the show progresses, they start off as these typical, stereotypical good and bad guys, and over time they become more human, right? So character development is something that I really liked in this anime. Although for some other characters like Suzuno, unfortunately, they're just useless and they feel so flat and monotone.
Mm-hmm.
They're just not interesting, right? In terms of male characters, I noticed that we haven't mentioned any male characters. I think other than Mao, they're pretty weak. I mean, Alciel and
again Lucifer. There's Olbo.
Lucifer.
There's Albert.
I mean, Lucifer and Alciel, they're not great characters, and I mean, they can be funny at times. Just that character development wise, they're not that great.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, they're just not that great.
So Tyson, what do you think about the characters? Because we haven't gone on to you.
I think I already talk about the girls. Chiho's meh. Emi is just. Let's see about the secondary characters. Also kind of like just throwaways.
Just forgettable. That's how I put it.
For forgettable, I'm gonna have to say my favorite. This is gonna sound a bit weird. Is Lucifer. And why do I say this? Because okay, so why do I like a character that has limited screen time? Like he's only shown like once per episode since he's become a staple in the. I'm sorry.
Part of the group.
Yeah. Because like at first he was introduced as a villain, and I spoiled myself that he was appearing later on in the show. I tend to do that. It's
a bad habit of mine too.
It's a bad habit of mine. So basically, when he becomes part of the group, he's basically like in the room with his computer, and I'm like, this reminds me of what I tend to do, and I don't know how can I feel.
To you?
I think because he's just so indifferent to everything that happens to Mao and Alciel. I think Emi, Shiho, and Crestiabel to a certain point, he's just indifferent, and he's just like
He's kind of like a loner. He's like, you know what? As long as I have my computer and my food, I'm good.
Exactly.
Okay.
And also the fact that he's a massive overspender. And this is a joke that they play with Alciel quite a lot. Like, they're very frugal. Like, they have to save money, and there you have Lucifer just wasting it all up. And I'm like,
didn't he order didn't he fill up the apartment with like boxes once? Like, he ordered an entire store worth of stuff.
He got scammed. That was the last episode. Yeah. Like, where he got all this stuff, and he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. What did you order, Lucifer? No. They don't call it Lucifer. They call it Urishihara. What did you order, Urishihara? I don't know what you're talking about. Well, was this here? And I'm like, yeah, this was here. This was here. And I'm like, get out of here. And then
Tyson,
all these boxes.
I'll be honest. I was not expecting you to say that Lucifer was a relatable character. I was fully expecting something like Mao, because I mean, if you think about it, Mao was like this once mighty great. He's literally the leader of the underworld, right? And he goes from that to being a part-time employee at a fast food restaurant, right? So it's kind of ironic, and it's kind of funny in a way that like it shows that even
wait.
people have to like struggle with this. It's kind of like part of the student life, you know, like working minimum wage and life, you know.
Okay, well, I do work minimum wage, and I am a part timer, but I don't define myself by my job, mostly by my personality, and I feel like Urishihara is like so indifferent to everything. Then I'm like, I like this guy.
For some reason, with Urishihara, I think he feels like, I think he's just a hipster. Like, I just look at him, I'm like, he looks like Skrillex as well. He has that hair, and I'm like,
you're
Skrillex.
I noticed that.
But another thing, I just want to move away from characters and talk about the actual story of the anime. I'm disappointed.
Yes.
The reason being is because this anime makes no sense at all. And I'm really going to go into this, and because I really want to point this out. They don't really talk about the characters' backstories a lot. You know, Emi, she's half angel, half human.
Other than the main characters, like, I think the other characters largely ignored.
Yeah, that's true. But even with Emi, she doesn't have much of a backstory. She's like, yeah, I'm half angel, half...
For this anime, compared to other characters, she has a good development. But, like, overall, I mean, she's not amazing.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the fact that it doesn't make sense. Like, let's be honest, let's go on another level, which I really don't want to do, but I'm going to do it anyway. It makes absolutely no fucking sense. Angels don't have any sort of genitalia. They're asexual. That's something.
Wait, that was a thing?
That is a thing. I mean, they don't have any sort of genitalia. They don't have any sort of gender.
What was that? I missed this. What does that mention?
No, not in this anime. I mean, in general. That's how they are. How can this guy mate with an angel? And another thing, even if they did have genitalia, how the hell did he meet an angel? And
Bish, where the fuck did you get your theology bachelor's? Tell me.
Okay, no, what I'm saying is that even if this angel had genitalia, how the hell did he find an angel and mate with it? I want to know about the mom. I want to know about the relationship the mom had with the dad and how they raised the kid and what happened to the mom. Did the mom die? I don't even know. Or another thing I want to know is that what if the mom was a fallen angel and it's also plot twist?
Oh my God.
Plot twist here is also Mao-sama's mom. How do we not know that's happened?
Oh my God!
Because we never see the mom.
Dun, dun, dun.
And then some went down.
Wait. That would mean that Mao got his stepfather killed.
Yeah. Or
dun, dun, dun.
because it's possible, because I have a feeling that this is where it's going to going to go. That it probably season 2 is going to happen.
Bullshit though. I think you're just overanalyzing this.
I really want to though. I can imagine it that they're secretly brother and sister, and then they find out.
God, that would be weird. That would be awkward. That would be awkward as fuck.
But I feel that that's where it's going to go. And sometimes I feel if the directors and stuff were given full, complete control over it, I think that's where it would go. Because I would think that. Because I never see the mom. They don't explain where the hell the mom is. And why is she left alone?
She's just unimportant. She's just irrelevant.
No, she is. No, she's very important because she has a daughter that is the only person in this universe that can actually destroy Mao-sama.
Oh, can I just spoil something about her father, though?
Yeah.
Well, her father's still alive.
What?
Wait, what?
Are you serious? No,
Yeah, her father's still alive.
You ruined it for us.
Okay, well, you guys heard it here first. I told you that I was going to spoil it.
Okay, that's fine.
And you just said just yourself that you didn't give a shit about the plot, so, I mean,
yeah,
it can't
but
be...
that's because it was shitty. I found that they didn't spend enough time. I'm not sure if it in the manga is different. If they spend more time
I don't know,
on the
I
backstory.
can't speak for the manga.
But how the hell if you can't speak for the manga, how the hell did you know about the dad being alive?
I may or may not have just, searched this up on the wiki, like I always do.
Okay,
yeah, but you spoiled it for yourself.
But another thing is that it just doesn't make any sense. There's certain bits that don't make sense. Even in terms of the anime, like we've mentioned this before about the fact that they just magically learn Japanese.
Yeah.
And another thing is the fact that how I can't on a human level I can't understand how a human being can love someone like I would be scared if I was Jiho. Like do you know what I mean?
Okay,
I would be so. Seeing that
think
transformation, I'll be like, what the fuck? Do you know
You're
what I mean?
an ordinary human who likes Yozora, and she's like the meanest bitch on earth. You said
She
it
is.
yourself.
But if she transformed into Satan, I'll be like, I would run because that's scary. And I think she didn't even show any sort of emotion to being scared. That's one thing I did not
because
like.
you don't give a fuck.
No,
I mean,
it's stupid. It's like if she's a human being. I would have wanted it to go like this. I wanted it to be like, oh, she was scared, and then not talk to him for a while, and then slowly kind of like accept him for who he really is. He's a rebel.
But the thing is, he never actually mean to her though. Like from the get go, he's really kind to her. So even if he is a demon,
what I'm saying is that
she doesn't give a shit because as far as she's concerned,
let's be honest.
Person,
let's
right?
be honest. You were dating a girl, or you liked a girl, Kevin, and then she becomes like some demon, transforms into a demon, a muscly demon with horns and all. What would you do? Honestly, wouldn't you be freaked out? Wouldn't you be scared?
I think we can interpret his silence.
You would be.
I don't even know how to react to this because
Exactly.
that's not
Exactly.
something I relate to. Like, I don't know if you've had any like she-devil ex-girlfriends, bish. I don't know about your love life, but
No, but what I'm saying is that it doesn't make sense. She's a human being. I would be scared. I think Tyson might be scared. As a human being, your first thing.
analytical though. I mean,
No.
this is a comedy.
I
anime.
understand. I know.
They
I understand that, but they
kill the
should have.
mood, though.
I understand that, but they should have at least made some sort of. She should have at least been shocked. She just gave no fucks. She was like, "Oh yeah, you're a demon. I like that." You know? No, it doesn't work like that. It really doesn't work like that.
Maybe it's because Shiho's freaky like that. She likes
No, don't
Maybe
go
she
into
has
that.
some sort of devil fetish. Who knows?
Maybe,
knows?
but we don't know. That's the thing. Even the anime doesn't explain that.
You can't judge her. I mean,
I'm not judging her. I'm
I
just
mean,
saying
Tyson
that.
openly discussed his interests earlier when he was talking about Rule 34. I'm not judging him.
Oh, yeah, sure. But what I'm
Mostly,
saying, I'm saying is
but-
that whether she has this fetish or not, we're not even described about it. We're not told
To each
about
his
it.
own. No, but that's the point of a fetish. You're supposed to keep it yourself.
But,
I mean,
but this is an anime, and I feel that we should have. No, I think it was poorly done in the sense that she
What
wasn't
happens
even. She
in
didn't even
happy
shrug.
time
No, she didn't even
stays
shrug. No.
in happy time.
I
She
think-
didn't even
I
shrug
think-
once or
Wait,
flinch once.
wait a moment. I think this is the time where I had to actually do my job as director of fanfics and find some fanfics for Bish where they explore this devil fetish of Shiho so he can read and I don't know, sponsors, if you're listening, you can sponsor my work. You can send me an email and I'll make sure that when Bish gets those fanfics that they will get promotion from you, the sponsors. Thank you.
I think what happens is if you send me a fanfic that completely explains why she doesn't flinch or she's not scared about the fact that the guy she likes turns into this massive monster, I would be scared. Like I'd be like, what the fuck? I would honestly.
The worst I could do is find a fanfic because there must be one out there.
Yeah,
where
find
Shiho
me a
actually
fanfic.
asks where Shiho actually asks Mao to, oh my god, become a demon and have sex with me in your demon form.
wait. Oh,
Whoa,
what the fuck?
Exactly.
When was this?
That's legal here, but not over there. not where you guys are.
Okay,
She's
well,
16, you sicko.
What if she's like Rika from Haganai? I mean, she was talking about Excalibur all the time. If you catch my drift,
Yeah.
Bish. So I mean, maybe she's just weird like that.
She
and
might
we
be,
don't
but
know.
we're not told. At least with Rika, we knew she was freaky girl. You know
But,
what I mean?
I mean, who knows? That's the thing. Maybe she's like good at hiding it. Who knows what Tyson likes? I mean, he could be into some.
But Tyson told us what he likes.
He could be into like.
He likes. He already
anything.
told us. Come on.
I didn't told you. I didn't
Tyson.
tell you what I
That's
like.
no. What he told you was like the tip of the iceberg. Who knows what he's
True.
hiding?
Yeah, you have a point. Okay. I want to say
didn't
something
told
now.
you.
I want to say.
What if
something
he's
now.
into Itachi? I mean, what if he
No,
like?
no.
What if he like has
No!
like Itachi posters?
Anything
flying
but
all over
anything but
his room,
that.
But I thought
Like,
Tyson
he
was
pro-
Itachi.
He probably reads like Itachi x Sasuke fanfics.
No.
No, just stop right there. You can't.
No.
You can't compare the two. Aren't they related? No.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe Tyson's into
No,
that. I
no.
I can't.
That's
judge him
you're
for
going
that.
into Oremo territory, and I don't like
horrible,
that.
No,
You can't incest. No way, man.
that's horrible. No, Kevin, why would you suggest that I look up
Kevin.
Itachi fanfics? Why?
But we don't know
I
that,
wouldn't
though.
put it past you. I wouldn't judge you.
I
Director
thought
of
you were
fanfics.
better than this.
But you're director of fanfics, so it has to be a
No,
possibility.
no. As director of fanfics, I know how sick the internet can be, but
Yeah, but that's your job.
that doesn't mean that I'm a sicko myself.
You have
Why
to
would I
see.
look
You,
at
you
that?
can't judge people by the. I've learned that Kevin has kind of made me feel that I shouldn't be judging people. Maybe some people have this kind of fetish where they like their
To
partners.
each his own.
Yeah,
To each his
exactly.
own.
There's people that like.
Let's just move on. There must be
there's-
another topic we can
I
cover.
think we should move on because Tyson's like just obviously getting
Uncomfortable.
defensive.
Yeah,
and,
because yeah.
No, I do. For the audience, I don't. I mean, the most you're gonna get out of me is just I do browse Rule 34 on occasion, but that's it. I'm not gonna tell.
hang on. No. You went past the point of no return. What do you search up about Rule 34?
No,
I'm interested. No.
I will not say. I will not say that. I will not
Okay,
say that.
Fine. Well,
Oh,
all we know
wait.
for now,
I'm on it
folks,
right
is
now.
Mio.
I just want to see something, and maybe it could explain about the whole Mao Sama thing. So I'm just gonna search it. Mao Sama.
Okay, so we
What was this conversation even about? I think we got a bit off track.
Oh, we were talking about the whole demon thing and how Chiho
okay.
loves.
Well, you guys do that. I think I'll start about what I think about the plot. I mean, I don't think it's ridiculous. I understood it. What my main gripe about the anime is that it's just not well developed. I mean, you could practically call it a slice of life because the only plot portions are like involving the church, and that only happens like twice
You're
in the
completely
12
right.
episodes, right? So it's like what I think it's like. The layout is simply slice of life, plot, and then slice of life.
I would honestly
No,
like to see more in the other dimension, as you said, because the church isn't mentioned like only twice, and I want to know because there was that scene when they're in the church and they're wearing the hoods and they were describing, oh, this guy betrayed us, and I was like, whoa, shit got real. You know what I mean? I want to see more of that. I want to see why he betrayed them. I want to know more about the whole relationship between the demons and the humans and why they're fighting each other.
They never mentioned that at all.
But they should. I feel that
Yeah,
they should.
It's just underdeveloped. And what I think about the plot is that, I mean, there's some pretty feely moments, surprisingly, even though it's a comedy anime. Like, there's some feels in it, like when Emi reveals what happened to her dad, to Mao, right? But the thing is, I'll say the same thing I said about, what was it? Hentai Prince and the Stony Cat. It's just that since it's a comedy anime and it spends so much time joking about things, when it does try to be serious, I just can't take it seriously. I take everything as a joke, right?
Mm-hmm. Because that sets the tone.
When there are moments in the anime that are obviously trying to make you feel sad, I don't feel anything. I just don't give a shit because, well, you spent the entire show trying to make me laugh, and now you're expecting me to get sad all of a sudden. It's like that's not how it works, you know?
There was something that I noticed in regards to the story, and I find it quite ironic because the church ends up being the evilest of the organizations, and they're blaming it all on the devil. Like the devil is this being that's just corrupt, that is just evil, and the church, you're pretty evil yourself.
I think it's kind of like maybe I'm overanalyzing here, but maybe it's like social commentary. Like
I think so too. I agree with that.
Yeah, there's no such thing as pure evil or pure good. You know, everyone has a mix of both. So maybe it's a social commentary on like breaking the mold, breaking stereotypes. I don't know. Maybe I'm just overanalyzing, but that's what I think it is.
I don't think you're overanalyzing it. I think you're right. I think that there is. I think possibly the main point of the anime is to show that even no matter how bad you are, there is some shred of good in people, and vice versa.
You know, yeah, vice versa. Exactly.
Yeah. So no matter how good you think someone is, they could be a complete and utter douchebag. You know what I mean? Like,
look at Mao. Look at Mao.
Exactly.
Everyone expecting him to be the bad guy, and he's a good guy.
1 second he's your boyfriend, the other second he's Satan. Who knows?
Yeah,
exactly.
You know?
I have a question. What is your favorite comedic scene in this anime?
For me, you know what my favorite scene is? That was this one scene. It was when he's working, and then he has to. The guy from from KFC comes over.
Oh yeah. What's his face? Serial?
The angel, the archangel guy.
Yeah, the angel guy.
Yeah, Serial.
He's so short and everything. And I just look at him and I'm like, I
he
laugh.
Reminds me of you know
the guy from Pokemon. He reminds me of that guy.
James.
Yeah, you're right. You remind me. And
I was expecting like any moment now. For like Jesse
to
pop
out.
Like Jesse, James, you know, like fucking Meowth to pop up somewhere. It's like
I would imagine that. I could. But another thing about him was he's just really short. That's not funny.
He's
but
such a creep.
And he is. But the thing that made me laugh the most was towards the end where he's like in the freezer, or in the locker or something, and then he's trying to like chat up the manager, and I'm like, oh my god, she don't care. Like, and I found that hilarious, and I want to see more of that, to be honest. And he's creepy as well. Like, another thing is, like, I also found the scenes with him where he was, every time he talks to someone, especially a woman, he gives them their change, he talks to them and stuff, and I find his interactions with women incredibly hilarious.
So weird.
Yeah, it's hilarious because no one would do that in real life, and if you would, you're a complete weirdo because that's not how you do it.
Yeah, like you're a fucking creep.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god, I wouldn't call the police.
That's what makes it so
pepper
funny,
spray
you know?
him.
Like, yeah, just like pepper spray him, get the fuck out of there. That's what makes him so funny.
It
just
does.
He's so odd. I mean,
but in the
he has
same
his sunglasses all the time, you know, like
yes, why I don't know.
He's trying to hit on literally everyone in the show, like all the female characters, and it's just.
I think they made it a bit obvious with the sunglasses though, because as soon as I saw the sunglasses out, he's hiding his eyes for a reason, and the guy that had the eyes was like the purple eyes, the guy with the mask when he was like robbing the 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, that's him. You know what I mean? Like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, yeah, that's the guy. I didn't know who the hell he was. I was like, that's the guy.
When they showed that,
I think it's pretty obvious though for me.
Yeah,
at least for me, it wasn't. I thought he was someone that was sent by another one, and the whole kind of like shadow. Violet shadow over his eyes was kind of creepy, and I thought, do you think that it was obvious when he was wearing sunglasses inside the Kentucky?
Yeah, I found that like he looked a lot like James at that point with sunglasses.
Maybe
on,
he was, and that's why he was wearing sunglasses because he didn't want to know
Emi's
people.
secretly like Jesse.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he could be, and he's just making his cameo in other animes because after Pokemon, he's homeless and he needs to find a job. And he had to do some really bad things. He had to
He's been doing a pretty bad job as a villain for 13 years now.
Yeah, so that's
exactly
tough economy, people. Tough economy.
It's
like
so
jobs
so
are hard
difficult.
To find.
He had to sell himself.
You got to do what you got to do to get by.
Yeah, it's true.
I want to use that. I want to use that joke, or not joke. That part with the Kentucky to segue into my favorite scene because it was on that very episode. because Alciel was ordered by Mao to go to the Kentucky to try their chicken, and it happens that Emi and Rika are having.
Are they trying the food there?
They were trying the food there, and I think Shiho was with them, or they were just only Emi, Rika, and Alciel. I don't recall. But when Rika tries to make sense of the relationship between Emi, Ashiya, and Mao, he basically comes up with this elaborate story. When he said, "We used to run a construction company," I fucking lost it. Because he's just so good. He's just a good storyteller, and he was basically saying, me and my partner Mao, we had a construction banner, and it happens that Emi worked for the rival company.
Do you know what it sounds like? When I heard that, I felt it was like a Yakuza story, like a Yakuza.
I know.
Because that's what the Yakuza do, though. They kind of take over companies and
Yeah.
But that's what it felt like. I was like, whoa.
No,
like if I was Rika, I would have been like, are they Yakuza?
And the funniest thing, Rika ate it all, and Emi was kind of forced to play with that. Emi, it wasn't Shiho, it was Susuno that was with them. I know there was someone else, but he was just so good at the story, and I just lost it. I laughed during that whole sequence, and Emi's like, "Oh my god, what do I say now?" And I'm basically, you're gonna have to follow with it, because you can explain that Mao is a devil and you're an angel, and you're constant. And you're in constant antagony with each other, because that's not going to work. That's what you were telling Rika for like the past 4 or 5 episodes you met her. But that explanation was so good and so hilarious, and Susuno didn't say anything. Which I think made the episode more hilarious, because that's kind of like aimed at the viewer, and here Rika just acted as a punching bag. Because I didn't know you had a venture, Emi, and you're like, yeah, I did have a venture. So I think that would be my the most hilarious moment I've experienced in the anime. How about you, Cameron?
Me? Well, I remember many hilarious moments. Well, actually, no.
Your favorite.
I watched it a long time ago, so I remember. But one thing that sticks to me was, I don't know if you'll judge me for this, but I think the first episode was probably my favorite in terms of how, because it's just like, especially that like curveball they throw you, because you're going into this anime like thinking that it's a typical, so like stereotypical fantasy anime, and then all of a sudden, whoosh, they're in Japan, right? And everyone's just like, what the fuck is going on? And like Mao's trying to use magic to hail a cab, and like he's just exploring the world, and it's just like, I found it just absolutely hilarious, because he was so clueless like to everything going on around him, right? So I think that it's just the most memorable part for me. I don't know if it's the most hilarious, but it was certainly my favorite episode, I have to say.
Okay. One thing that I want to say is that we've already mentioned our gripes I feel that most of this episode was just our gripes. In terms of like to say whether I should recommend it or not, I find that this anime is really, I wouldn't recommend this to everyone. I feel that if you're really bored with your life and you've watched every anime, every simulcast, and you're like, yeah, I want to watch this, then go ahead and watch it. But I feel that don't. Honestly, it's a waste of your time. Personally, I wouldn't say for me. The only reason I watched it was for kunai. I enjoyed it, but I wouldn't want to see a season 2 if it continues like this, or if it changes, or whatever. Yeah. What do you guys think? What would you recommend it to other people?
I'm gonna let Kevin go first.
All right. Well, I think it really depends on your taste. I mean, I don't think I'll take as an extreme stance as Bish. I think that it's not like so bad that if you don't have anything else to watch, then you shouldn't watch it. It's just that you shouldn't go expecting like the most deep plot or best character development of the year. But I mean, I got the bang for my buck. I went into this and I got some pretty good laughs. I mean, despite its many flaws, like rather weak stories, some weak characters, especially side ones, I think that overall the comedy element of it just makes the rest more bearable. I mean, I can name like worse comedy anime. I mean, I think it does a pretty decent job at making you laugh. So if you're into romantic comedies, or you just want to have a nice laugh when you don't have anything else to do, then I definitely recommend this.
I'm gonna have to echo Kevin's words. Basically, if you want a show to make you laugh, then yeah, by all means, watch The Devil is a Part-Timer. If you're looking for something deep, this show's not it, because this is a show you have to watch with kind of like your with your mind on shutdown. Just get the popcorn and go and start watching it. It's like a Hollywood movie.
It's a Seth Rogen movie. No offense, Seth Rogen.
I suppose. I'm not really a fan of Seth Rogen, but whatever. That doesn't come to the case. But yeah, watch this if you're bored. If you're looking for a good laugh, don't watch it. You're looking for something deep. That's basically it.
Okay. The reason I mentioned what I said was because I'm the kind of guy that will just look for I only watch really good anime. I know it sounds really dumb, but that's the reason I found it was just disappointing to my high standards, high society. But that's what I feel like, you know.
The classiness.
Exactly. It's that Britishness coming in, you know.
Oh my gosh.
But
anyway,
you're like Bish with like a spectacle and like a monocle and like mustache and some tea in hand, like tuxedo, top hat.
Tuxedo?
Yeah. Typical British.
Like you don't wear tuxedos, jeez.
High society, basically.
Tuxedos are like American things.
No, just like you mean sipping his tea, like just utterly disgusted by like bad quality things, like.
Okay, another thing, guys, is you can watch this anime if you really want to. You can watch it on Funimation's website. Mm-hmm. And I believe, I'm not sure if it's in English dub and in Japanese dub as well.
And sub.
Okay, that's great. So you can watch it in either language.
I recommend sub, by the way.
Yeah, same. But I know Funimation are really good with their dub, so either one, give the dub a try as well. I hear it's good. And yes, this is the end of this episode. But remember, guys, next episode is going to be about.
What is it?
It's about. I'm reading it off now, guys. Calm your tits. It's about Denki Gai no.
Preparedness level over 9,000.
Okay, jeez, man, let me say it, jeez. Denki Gai no Honya-san. I don't know what it means, but it's a really fun anime. I've only seen 4 episodes of it so far, so it's completely new to me. It's not something I've seen before. It's a 12 season fail.
Oh my gosh!
That's a long anime.
What is this, Naruto?
No, I'm joking. No, it was a brain fart there. It's a 12 episode anime, season 1. It's pretty recent. It's currently on Crunchyroll. You can go and watch it there if you really want to. And yeah, it's I'm currently watching it. It's something new to me. That's all I'm gonna say. And see you guys later. Yeah.
All right, thanks, guys.
Bye.